Tom, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How's your day going?
Relaxing. That's the really cool thing. And We have Happy Death Day here. This is Dominic's choice. So,
Indeed.
Dom, you want to lead us off with a little synopsis on this movie or
Indeed. So again, we're
Halloween?
still we're still in the spooky season. So we're keeping the horror movies coming, but this is a horror comedy. This week's movie is Christopher Landon's 2017 horror comedy, Happy Death Day. But before I get into the movie, Portland's been in the news quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
And I'd like to publicly state to any of our viewers, our city is not burning. We are not in danger. In fact, if you want to see some of the riots outside the ICE facility here, this is one of them.
Okay. All right. So you got a lot of furries invading.
We've got a lot of furries
Okay.
protesting the ICE detention center.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right.
So I just this is from a local news station has a live feed going 24/7
Right.
at this
Right.
place. And this is a screenshot from the live
Wow.
feed.
Wow, that's hysterical. Check out the live feed. That's definitely hysterical. So
But back to the movie. So this is totally a me movie. Um, it's horror, but with a huge dose of comedy. It's got a time loop in it, and they shove so many genres of film into this movie. You kind of lose track as to exactly what it is. Is it a horror? Is it a comedy? Is it a rom-com? Is it a science fiction? Is it a family drama? Like it's got it all. So in a nutshell, we meet main character Tree. She's this, extremely unpleasant sorority sister. She embodies all the classic negative stereotypes of a sorority sister. And she wakes up with a hangover in some random guy's dorm room. She barely remembers the night,
this guy,
but
this
she
guy,
takes off in a huff, goes
this guy.
back to her sorority house, and later in the day basically gets stabbed to death by this person in a baby mask that's right behind me. And Apondine wakes up again in that random guy's dorm room, reliving the exact same day over and over again until she can solve her own murder. That's, and again, that's extremely reductive in describing this movie.
Well, it's yeah, I mean that's kind of it. And it's as far as like the movie, one thing I know we're called spoiler alert, but I don't think we should give away like the actual killer. Um
This is
or
another
I
movie where there is a plot. I'm not sure how
Well,
much it
no,
matters.
but I don't know if you hear what I'm saying. I don't think we can necessarily give
It
the killer, but but
could be anyone.
it could be anyone. Yes, but I mean, it could be anyone. But no, no, it's I'm joking, of course, but I think we are spoiler alert. We do talk about the plot and different elements in the plot, and we certainly often give away whether it's. But as far as the film goes, I don't love the film. I really like it, and
This is a movie I love, but not because it's a great film. There are so many plot holes in this movie. It's ridiculous. This is just I love it because it's fun. It's a
yeah,
silly movie.
yeah, and it is fun. It's I enjoy. Believe me, I enjoyed watching it. I had seen it before. When you brought up the movie, I was thinking, have I seen it before? As soon as I started watching it, I realized like, okay, yeah, I had seen it. Took me a little bit to really start remembering a lot of the film and a lot of the plot, but there's all kinds of crazy stuff online about it, which I didn't do any research for this really. I know there's one guy that went on a whole thing about the particular sneaker or running shoe, and he would circle different people wearing the shoe, and all I can think of is they're in an obnoxious sorority, and so probably maybe they all wear the same damn stupid sneaker. I don't know, but unless that's not fashionable. But anyway, like I said, it was a whole thing about, and of course, you know, one person we know of for sure is wearing the that particular sneaker. The killer, which we, of course we're not naming, but but, uh, but
Do you know
anyway,
who that is behind you with the cupcake?
um, the actress's name I know. I
That
mean,
is
I
Ruby Modine,
okay,
the
yep.
daughter of Matthew Modine.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
there's a bunch of Hollywood
Huh.
family connections in this movie.
Wow, wow, a lot of
For,
incestuous.
for instance, I told you the director is Christopher Landon.
Yep,
If that last name sounds
of
familiar,
course, Michael Landon. Yes.
Michael Landon's one of Michael Landon's son, and then the sorority house leader, the woman, the character Danielle,
Yep, yep.
that is the director's niece.
Huh. Well, yeah, she played the real brat. That's
Oh,
her.
the Uber,
Yeah.
yeah.
But um, well, it's funny because I'm watching this and I'm thinking, so the key to get out of the problem is really be nicer to people. Just be more human and nicer
And
because
I gotta
that
say that is one of the biggest facets of this movie that makes me love it.
right,
The director was stated saying that in a traditional slasher movie, the crappy, bitchy, slutty girl gets killed first, and the good girl survives.
right,
He said for this movie, he wanted that to be the same character.
right.
And so we see this personal development in the main character over the course of the movie that I think is amazing.
Yeah,
I think it's partly the writing, partly the directing, but partly this woman right here, Jessica Rothe, she changes the nature of who her character is so well throughout the movie.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just love it.
Because I mean, all I can think of when I first started watching it was, okay, she's like, a terrible B word. She's just not a nice person. The poor guy that she wakes up in his dorm, he's a really nice guy. She's assuming that she slept with him because she usually sleeps with, and she it was somebody that she was actually ashamed of. She didn't want her sorority to know that she had actually slept with the guy because he wasn't apparently, high up
Cool.
enough on the cool list or whatever the list was for who she dates and or who is approved for her dating. And he's a really sweet, nice guy. When she at one point says something to him about sleeping with him, he says, "Oh, we didn't sleep together. I stayed up and I wanted to make sure you were okay." And it's like, wow, like that's a good dude. So
Hmm.
so anyway, yeah, you really start to really feel like he's a good, decent guy that it's like, girl, what are you crazy? Don't ignore this guy, which she eventually starts to realize like he's a good dude. And to the point where that scene where she's kissing him, she does that in front of her sorority, and she starts to even look at the people she's looking up to, like the Michael Landon, or not the Michael Landon, but the chick in the sorority chick that she's
Danielle.
actually, yeah, Danielle, that she's actually not a nice person. But
Yeah, I love the iteration. This is later in the movie when she's become a better person. She's really developed feelings for that guy. And Danielle says, I can't believe did you sleep with him? And she's like, not yet. But if I survive this, I'm gonna have his babies.
yeah, Yeah, that was one of the funny lines that was in this. Well, that was the other thing is when you realize, like, wow, because it was almost like you were seeing a lot of different characters anyway in her. When she's having an affair with her professor who's married, professor doctor, and and I mean, like you're like, oh my God, she's actually sleeping with her professor, this doctor that's married, and so yeah, and I think they did do a pretty good job of making you wonder who the killer was.
Oh,
Uh,
they did a great job.
but I think I kind of figured it out, or I was pretty sure who it was in my first watching. My second watching, I don't know, I think I was probably watching a little more thoroughly. Because the first time I saw this was probably just something I happened to come across, might have been on Tubi, whatever. Um, but I just happened to, it's like, oh, okay, I'll check it out. And I enjoyed it. And I promptly kind of, it went out of my head until you brought it up again. And I'm thinking, why is that familiar? And like I said, it wasn't until I actually started watching it, I was like, yeah, I definitely saw this. But now, have you heard about the whole controversy with the face?
I've heard a few things about that. I don't. Oh, well, you got more evidence than I did because I actually looked it up. And on Wikipedia, it said the controversy is because the baby mask in the movie looked very much like King Cake Baby, who was supposed to be the mascot for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Right,
But the New Orleans Pelicans, on their website, their mascot is not King Cake Baby.
right, right. So yeah, I don't know what the big thing was, and frankly, you almost ought to be flattered anyway. That they used it, but I mean, everybody
Do you
wants.
know the story behind the mask itself?
No, I mean the mask just seemed like something familiar to me anyway. Like I've seen that
Well,
mask
this
and
was created by Tony Gardner.
huh.
Tony Gardner created the Ghostface mask.
Okay, yep,
So they hired someone that is a very well-known, competent mask maker for horror movies.
right,
I mean, that Ghostface mask is iconic now.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So
I mean, good.
originally they were going to go with a pig face mask,
Okay,
and that was what they were working with.
yeah,
But he was going to be a dad soon. His wife was pregnant, and he's like, I just had babies on the brain.
yeah,
And so he made this mask and wore it into work, and he freaked so many people out.
yeah,
He was like,
yeah.
okay, this is the mask.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny because it's almost like, when people talk about clowns and like how clowns can be scary. Um, I wish I had put it up there, but there's a little meme that's up online. I see a lot, and it's a picture of a black and white picture of a clown at a subway station, I believe, and he's leaning against one of the girders, and he looks kind of like grimy and dirty. He doesn't look like a normal clown, and
Not your normal clown.
yeah, yeah, a normal clown, uh, quote unquote. But it says clowns aren't funny after 9 o'clock or something like that. But it's true. It's like the context of when you see something, and when you see something that's could be a funny thing, like a little kid wearing a silly mask like that with a silly outfit could be funny. Put that mask on a grown person dressed all in black, standing there like outside your house, staring at your house, at 11 o'clock at night. That's not funny. It's you look
They
at
say
that.
the work for this design they had in mind is it had to be both creepy and comedic.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that he did a great job.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's it's got all of those things. I mean, it could in one context it could make you laugh. In another context, you look at that and you think, what the So it's yeah, it was a neat idea. And not surprising, it's become a Halloween costume. So,
No, oh, that's not surprising at all. I wouldn't have thought of it, but now that you show it,
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily bring that particular knife unless it's for either self-defense or it's rubber because it
that
probably
looks
can
like a
just
horrible knife. Like, if that were real, it looks like a poorly made knife.
if that knife is actually serrated on the blade, it is a poorly made knife. I'm not sure. If it was something that was maybe, if I can't see the blade good enough, but if it was, if it turned out it was Damascus steel or something, different story. But I don't think that's what that. No,
Not
I
with
mean,
a handle like that. That's a crappy handle.
yeah, it doesn't even look comfortable to haft. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely um, it's definitely a costume that you should probably consider for so but
But no, I wish I had been able to get a screenshot. I couldn't find a good one. But even though it's a relatively minor plot point, her her reestablishing her relationship with her estranged dad,
yeah.
I thought really deepened her character. Like, it
Oh
provided
yeah.
insight that you didn't have.
Well, I mean, when she wakes up, when she initially wakes up from her night of drunkenness, um, the phone is ringing and it says dad, and you see her, and she just like immediately clicks it off. He is rightfully or wrongfully, he's trying to make her feel better, even though her mom's death and her birthday are like coincide with each other, and she doesn't want anything to do with her birthday because of it. But her dad is actually trying to, keep the bond of their relationship going, and she's not making it very easy, and she's very self-oriented and hedonistic and into superficiality with this stupid. I didn't go to college, but I mean, I never understood the whole frat boy sorority thing. To me, it always just seemed deplorable. I don't know, hey, maybe there's not that I don't find,
Well, I mean,
sorority girls.
I don't think that stereotype is true across the board.
Well, that yes,
I
that's
think you
true.
need another component to that.
Yeah,
It's not just the frat nature, it's not just
yeah,
the sorority nature,
yeah,
but it's also having a wealthy family behind you
yeah,
so that you never have had to suffer any consequences for your actions.
yeah. And yes, it depends on the fraternity, depends on who's in it. I mean, probably college kids, as a rule, just being young, and when you're when you're at the age of where it's everything's about me. It's everything's about you're the center of your own world, and you think everybody else should be looking at you as the center of their world. It's a common thing for young people, and not every young person, but certainly many, where they go through those years of so probably the sorority and fraternity is a little bit of a uh, it's a little bit of a part of that. But
I can't say I've got any firsthand nature of what's it called?
the
The something system.
yeah, the Greek life, the
Is
uh,
that what anyway,
well,
uh,
yeah, it's definitely
we had frats and sororities on our college campus, but I
yeah,
never knew anyone from any
yeah.
of them.
No, you and all the friends that I had met of yours, they were all more laid back, cool. They
We were
weren't,
just hippie types.
yeah, just hippies having fun, listening to music, playing D&D. A little bit of nerd there too. Um, but um, but yeah, so it's as far as frats, I've known at least two people that were in frats, and they were decent people, so good people. So right there is, if I was going to hold them up as examples, I don't know what they were like in their in their frat life, but what certainly knowing them when I did, they were good people. So, um, but yeah, um, so yeah, but she is very superficial. Getting back to her, yeah, that was hysterical when she starts realizing um, that, and that's the other thing. Even this, like that the scene where she kisses him too, she says, "Well, you're not going to remember this," and that's the reason why she goes out because it doesn't matter how she starts her day, she's going
So,
to
so
die.
she was actually naked.
Really?
She was actually walking naked across an actual active college campus.
Wow, wow, that's hysterical.
But she said all the female crew members, they're out of sight, but they're holding up their jackets. So they're shielding
Oh,
her from
wow,
view. The camera's got the shot,
yeah,
and you never see her from the front, the full frontal. But she had crew members on either side.
wow. Well, she had some good chicks looking out for her. So
She said it felt very empowering.
yeah, yeah. That's hysterical, and that's a nice bit of trivia there, Dom. So that's very, very, very cool. But yeah, her transformation, I think, is probably one of the more special things about
I,
the
I,
movie.
the more I think about it, her transformation is the movie for me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things that I do wonder. Like, I haven't seen part two yet, and I will get to it. But as far as like, I would say that would probably be to me one of the biggest obstacles that they would have to overcome because her growth in this first one was what was so compelling and so fun about watching the movie is you start out seeing this and well I didn't look at her as being contemptible or something like that, but it was just like you probably get tired of her after spending a day around her because you'd be like, wow, that chick is like just really, pain in the ass, too full of herself, and only thinks about herself. But by the time the movie's over, you're like you
Oh, you're
feel
rooting
for
for
her. What? Yeah, it's you're actually really into who and what she's becoming in technically one day, but
her.
it's a
So,
lot more than one day.
so this is a scene from two. Happy Death
Okay,
Day to You. And we learn what causes the time loop.
okay,
So two is actually a little more of a science fiction.
really. So you have seen two.
Oh, I just saw it like 2 days
Okay.
ago.
All right. Well, I haven't seen it at all. So, and the other thing is, if I post any pictures from two, that was hard in itself because um, they have, if you look for Happy Death Day, um, the two scenes come up a lot. So
But yeah,
I,
a lot of the two scenes are interchangeable because what let me just put this out there.
yeah,
Two is not a great movie. What makes two fun is how much it builds on the first movie and how great they are at keeping the continuity.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the scenes in the hospital for two, they had to completely recreate a set because the hospital had originally been filmed in was demolished at the time.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. As far as everything about this, as far as see, I don't know as far as budget goes, but the scenes, everything was to me was spot on. I again, you know, where they
Mike,
shot it. Yeah.
Happy Death Day had a box office take of $125.5 million
Wow.
on a budget of 4.8 million.
Whoa. Whoa. Huh.
That
Well,
again, I reiterate, this is not like a classic. This movie will not win any Academy Awards. There are definitely problems with this movie, but it's just so fun a movie, and it did so impressively. I'm
yeah,
shocked it's not talked about more.
yeah. It's like I said, I didn't think it was great. I thought it was very good, and I thought it was really entertaining.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm assuming because the filmmakers that made this or that were involved with this one Of course, they've done a number of different ones,
Oh, a
and
ton.
yeah, and right behind me there, the
Mm,
Vince Vaughn, which that's one I've been meaning to throw out there eventually for us to do
freaky.
because yeah, Freaky. It was that movie. Both characters, both Vince Vaughn and the chick there, they both did such a good job playing each other, and and it worked. It didn't. The movie's silly. It's comedy, comedy horror, but at the same time you kind of like when you see them interacting in each other's bodies technically um, they did take on the mannerisms and the roles so like I said um, hey they're making good movies I wouldn't say they're necessarily great movies um, just like
Right.
Freaky,
It's not Apocalypse Now or The Godfather.
but it doesn't need to be for what it
But
is.
yeah, if you just want some video fun,
Yeah, which I a lot of times that's all I'm looking for when I
right.
for watching a movie. Every once in a while, a great movie comes along, or I see one maybe that was made many years ago that I had never gotten around to, and so when I do, like I'm always like, oh man, this is an incredible movie. How did I not see this movie before? Um, but um, but I mean, I just got through. We were talking about Superman. I just got through watching the newer Superman, and I really dug it. And that's another one we should do.
Yeah, yeah. Man, no, I don't know if we've ever done a movie that recent because that came
Yeah,
out like months ago.
yeah, true, true.
But I'll be the first to agree with you. I thought that was an incredible movie.
Maybe once we get through the Halloween, the October Halloween, and before we get on to some of the other holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, we
There's no time in there. We're gonna have
there's
to wait till next year.
yeah. Well, I'd love to sneak Superman in there, but again, this one definitely, for people who have not seen this movie, it's definitely a fun movie. It's a fun watch. Um, it's a I wouldn't call it like scary, scary, but there's some suspense in there.
I have a hard time calling this horror.
Yeah. Well, there's some suspense. Let's put it that way.
Yes, yes, there
Um,
is.
yeah, as far as full on horror, I think it's probably in the horror comedy section if you want
Right.
to
I
categorize
almost
it.
felt I love this movie, so this is one of the movies I've wanted to review since we started this channel. But I still feel a little bad putting this in the spooky season because this is not scary.
Yeah. Well, it's not terribly scary, but at the same time, there's no way, like when you suggested the movie, first of all, I wasn't even totally thinking about what it was, but even there's no way that I would say, okay, this doesn't fit with what we're doing. It's not like anybody could say, because what we're doing right now is our horror movies for Halloween, but which we can deviate to. Dom has that right, I have that right, but we're trying to stick just for this month. Um, but anyway, no, it truly is. Hey, it's a look at the titles there. It's horror. It's horror comedy, but it's definitely horror. So, and hey, you can always wear your Halloween costume. So, or
I mean,
take it
it does have a kill count.
to an Antifa. But anyway, so so yeah, like I said, to me, it truly is a fun movie. I love the growth that you see with her.
Mhm.
Even I believe it's actually this scene here where they're actually sitting down and having lunch, I guess, together. And when I think it's here that when she says something about them sleeping together, he's like, "Oh, we didn't sleep together. I just stayed up and watched you." And you could almost see her go, "Oh," because because I mean that's like the ultimate butterflies in the stomach girl moment when
Yeah,
when they
I
know that
haven't
a guy
seen
actually
her.
is nice enough that they actually took care of them. So
I haven't seen her in anything else, but man, I was just really impressed with her in this
yeah,
movie.
yeah, she took on she is one of the huge highlights. He's great too.
He's great
Um,
too.
but she is one of the huge highlights of this film because she does go through, and it's some a lesser actress couldn't have, especially at this budget and at this type of movie, wouldn't have been able to do the transformation of character that she does. Um, you really feel um, what she is at the start, and when you're going through the changes with her character, it none of it feels rushed to, or it didn't to me, like they were like making her change too quickly. I mean, she had technically days, but but um, but no,
I mean, it is very much like Groundhog Day.
yeah,
It's often compared to that movie where Bill
yeah,
Murray starts out kind of a dick,
yeah,
and by the end of the movie, develops into a much better person.
yeah. It's that, it's that which, hey, you brought us a number of those films, the
I
time
love
loop.
these films.
That's a type of movies. They are fun. They are fun. I've seen some that and the danger of any film that has this for a basic plot. The danger is that the movie is going to run too much, and it's going to be like, okay, we've seen this, stop. Um,
But
and it,
man, they really put a lot in this. I mean, it's all on the college campus at first,
yeah,
but then we start seeing scenes in the hospital.
yeah,
Again, I reiterate the scenes with her father. I thought that was some of the best part of the movie.
yeah, yeah. It was, and yeah, to me the hospital was probably
The
some of the
most
more,
horror-like.
yes, more horror like and more creepy, suspenseful scenes of the movie. But there are definitely there's a few kind of fight scenes that you see, where she is attacking, um, and again we're trying not to give away who the murderer is, but but that's like I said, I'm just messing around there, but no, definitely definitely fun, definitely not just, it's not just a, like I'm trying to think of one that maybe is a little bit more of just a lightweight horror comedy or horror movie. um I mean, urban, like what's the urban legend one? It's is it Urban Legends that where
There is
they,
one called Urban Legends, but
yeah,
there's
that's
also
the,
Candyman.
yeah, the first one that they did like that, where they were just playing on all the different urban legends. Um, I mean, some of those movies, it's just like you're you look at it and there's no way that you see characters that have any any kind of depth to them or any type of layers to their personality or who the character is. And this one absolutely does have that. Um, I was actually like, I mean, you have no idea who the character is. They're the nurse character that's in the that's her friend in the movie, and
Her roommate.
yeah, and I was thinking to myself, she is such a bitch to this woman, because I mean, and obviously she had been worse to her before, but we find out that later. But I mean, my first thought when I saw the character was I was thinking, well, she's crushing on you like crazy. She's really, that was my first inclination, and maybe there was something to that too. But there could have definitely been there could definitely have been little bit of
A love triangle.
a love hate thing going on there, but because you always hurt the ones you love. So, but yeah, like I said, there are those early scenes. You're thinking to yourself, she actually took the cupcake in the first one and she threw it on the floor, or knocked it on the floor. I don't know which it was, but it was like, really? It's like this girl actually said she went to the trouble whether she bought it in a bakery or whether she actually cooked it and made it. The fact that she did that for her, and then to her just, you know, nonchalantly just like dismissing everything about that and just going about her busy life. I was like, wow, this girl is awful. So again, like I said, to see her growth and see who she becomes later, it's kind of refreshing. It's kind of nice, and you don't often see that type of thing in a movie. And I would say that's a big part of the what the charm of the movie. So it's not for anyone that's maybe is not into horror movies. This is one that I would say, don't be afraid to, unless you're really timid about horror. This
There's
one's
almost no, I can't think of any gore in here.
yeah. I really did not. You'd have to be pretty timid to
Mhm.
be like sit go. Oh my God, that movie was so scary. It's not. It's if this movie scares you, you're a wimp. That's all I.
It's
That's
funny, this was almost a very, very different movie. The
yeah.
screenplay was done in 2007.
Really that far back.
Yeah. So it was originally supposed to be produced by Michael Bay
Oh wow. Okay.
and directed by, who was it? Auntie Jokinen.
Huh.
And who knows what they would have made out of this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, it
I
wouldn't have been
love what
this.
Christopher Landon did to it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't have been this one. And honestly, I'm glad that it was made the way it was because I have to say, I am satisfied with the results of what came out here, and I do want to see part two. I will check it out in the next week or so if I can get around to it. But but yeah, like I said, I have to say I truly enjoyed it, and
Now, I thought of one more reason this is a very me movie. We've got the time loop, we've got the multiple genres. This the screenplay was written by Scott Lobdell, who is better known as a comic book writer.
oh okay, all right,
He's had years of work for Marvel and DC.
yeah, yeah, huh? I didn't realize that either, but no, again, fun movie. It's it's not your it's not your run of the mill. It's not your run of the mill just straight like especially ones that are filmed on college campuses. They tend to be or even school, even if it's a high school or college, they tend to have a very kind of form to them. And this is even though this is filmed on a mostly on a college campus, it's it doesn't necessarily feel like that type of movie. Um, and yeah, there's plenty of scenes in the sorority and about the campus, and that was one of the things that I actually found in my sick humor. I found extremely humorous when she does go out the window, and that chick is always sitting there, and she's like, "Oh my God!" Like this, I mean, I always thought about the whole thing with because I knew somebody that was from New York City that I was actually doing a run back in my old antique delivery days, and he was describing how he actually heard and kind of saw a body hit the sidewalk.
Oh,
That yeah, someone that and yeah, and he described it as it sounded like a car crash more than the it was like the bones like just like probably like completely breaking and smacking against the sidewalk. And I don't know what story this. It was a woman that she had committed suicide and hit the sidewalk. And but he said it was an awful sound that he said he never forgot the sound of it. And he said it didn't sound like what he thought a body would sound like because it was just like a clacking hard crash, like what a car crash might sound like. And I can't imagine like if you
no.
see something like that, um, it's still something that you're like, oh my God, like it's, I don't care whether it's a person or an animal to see something like that and just see a body suddenly transformed into the base of what we really are, flesh and bone. It's before your eyes. It's got to be. And this scene here, of course, isn't quite as bad as that, but it's still this poor girl sitting there like eating her yogurt or whatever she was doing, and she's like, "Oh my God, there's and it's like there's the body." But no, that's probably the most gruesome scene you might see in this movie.
Hmm.
They go on about like how many deaths are in these movies, but it's like I honestly barely remember the people dying in this movie. It's more about what's going on and how the craziness of what's going on.
Right. Other than the main character dying multiple times,
Yes.
there's maybe two or three at most other
Yeah.
deaths.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything else is um it's more superficial. So I don't consider it to be so for anyone that hasn't seen this and wants to see it, again, it's not like and I don't want to discourage if you love horror, it's fun. There's enough horror to it, horror elements that I would say it's worth watching. So no matter
It,
what, check it out. It's a good
it,
fun movie.
it sounds like we pretty much said what we have to say about this movie.
I think so. Yeah.
And so I'm cutting right to the chase. It's my pick. Obviously, I'm giving
Yeah.
it two thumbs up.
Yeah. Well, I almost was going to give you I'm giving it one one and a half, but I'm not. I'm giving it two thumbs up because I did enjoy the movie, and I won't do that to a movie I enjoyed. If I'm going to give, well, I mean, a one and a half thumb for me is still a movie that I probably had fun with, but if I'd only give it one thumb, then I'm bordering on dislike. So yeah, but uh, yeah. Having said all that, I think we have said what we can say about this. Check it out. It's a love story. It's definitely horror, but it's light horror. Um, More fun, suspense.
It's
Um,
really character development of that main
yes,
character.
yeah, and that is a huge thing. You see this character grow from somebody that is so totally self-centered to someone that actually is a caring person and reacquaints herself with her dad. It's there's something here to this movie. It wouldn't be as good a movie if that wasn't actually helped along. You would just look at it as it's a mediocre horror wannabe. That's what you'd see. But this one because of her and her terrific performance, this is why the movie's as good as it is. So yeah, um, we've come to the end of the. We've both given this the two thumbs up,
We've come
and
to the thumb part.
yeah. So
So, do you have a
yes,
movie for
I
it's
do
your pick
actually.
next?
Well, I'm always torn between what I'm going to pick. I'll never have an easy time of it. But I finally came down on what one I wanted to pick for this one, and I finally came up with Lost Highway.
Oh, wow, that's going to be good. I love that movie.
And it's been a little while since I've seen it. So it's available on a number of different things, but you can certainly see it on Vudu if you don't.
I
Um,
think I saw it on YouTube a few years ago. I
yeah,
mean,
it's around,
it's
but
around.
Lost Highway, terrific movie. It's got a number of big name actors and actresses. Patricia Arquette's in it. It's got I mean it's got a ton of it's got it's what's his face is in it. The Busey is in it. Gary Busey's in it in a small part. But there's so many. Robert Blake is in it. And
Oh man, Robert Blake is just
he's
crazy in it.
he is chilling. He wow, that's great. That's great. I love it, Dom. That's wow. If I saw that, I'd be really laughing on it.
People are going in costume like every night now.
Well, I'll tell you what, that may be that may be one of the more fun protest things that you could actually do. That's hysterical. I you'll have to you'll have to capture some more for us for next week.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't see any end in sight. So
yeah. So no, I don't either. But having said all that, I think we can wrap this up. Please leave a like, subscribe. Dom, keep those pictures coming for next week.
oh,
Um,
I will. Man, I'm looking forward to Lost Highway.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
more of a horror movie than this was.
that it certainly is. It's I'm going in the other extreme of it's I found Lost Highway to be one of the more for a lot of different reasons, which we'll talk about next week. But one of the more disturbing movies that I've probably ever seen. It hits you on so many levels, spiritual, and there is a time loop element to
Hmm.
that also. It's or a loop element, which
Yep.
is also something that is both confusing to people that have never seen it. If you've never seen it, please try to watch it and then come back and join us next week and see us talk about
Yeah,
this
oh my
movie.
God. You want to see this before we say anything about it.
Yeah. And Dom, I expect when you do your short for this next week that you're going to be wearing pancake makeup like Robert Blake and saying something about I'm
Call
already in
your
your
house.
house. That
I'm at your
scene
house right now.
that scene freaked me out. The other thing that's kind of humorous and people should try to pay attention to is the cell phones that they carry in the movie. I think I can't remember whether he actually flipped it open, but he pulled the antenna off. I think it was this big it was this big bulky thing. It looks like something you'd have for a landline. It did not look like a cell phone. It's
It has to have one of the most jarring soundtracks I've ever heard.
oh my God, it's a great soundtrack. It actually turned me on to a lot of, like Rammstein. I actually got really turned on to some of that music. And I was like, wow, this and it fits for some reason. It's kind of like what Argento started doing with a lot of movies like Suspiria and things like that, where he put the metal soundtrack in the background, and you think to yourself, I would never have imagined before he did that that would have effectively worked for a horror movie. And man, it sure does when
Yeah,
used right.
this is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Lynch movies, but also
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies.
Well, I think it's one of Lynch's best. It's funny because Lynch started out pretty darn good, and but man, his filmmaking got. I wish the dude was still alive. I really
Hmm.
do, because I would love to see another movie out of him. But this one and Mulholland Drive are probably two of my, and of course Blue Velvet.
Inland
But
Empire.
oh my God, Inland Empire. Some of the scenes in Inland Empire are frigging chilling, and that all of these movies have been in our list. I can tell you right now, both Dom and I have had all these movies in our list. It's it's just a matter of getting around to them. So we're definitely doing Lost Highway next week, um, and it's going to be a fun watch when we get around to that. But
And
Dom,
really,
having said,
I almost never say this, but to those, if you're still watching out there and you haven't seen Lost Highway,
please, yeah,
good God, watch that movie. If
please
you love
watch it.
movies,
Yeah,
watch that movie.
yeah. Absolutely. And please join us next week. Like I said, if you would leave the like and subscribe, that would really help. If you haven't already, but we appreciate it. We appreciate the support. And having said all of that good stuff, Dom, thank you for this one. For Happy Death Day was a good
Love it.
watch.
Yep.
So see you guys next week.
See